Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial. This segment's being brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done and published to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. I'm doing a series of spotlights on remarkable business intermediaries from across the country. And joining me on this segment is Loren Schmerler. He's the founder and president of Bottom Line Management Incorporated. Loren, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mark.
Tell us a little bit about your work and specifically, who are the types of clients that you specialize in helping?
Okay, I'm called either a business broker or a business intermediary based on the selling price of the business. Business broker under $1 million, business intermediary over $1 million. I help typically husband and wives that own a business, and for one reason or another, they're through. Could be that they're burnt out, could be they have issues like aging parents, could be they want to travel and visit. So there's any number of reasons, but it's a matter of they can run their business, but they can't sell it. So I step in to help them.
Let's talk about that a little bit. What makes it difficult for them to sell? Do these business owners, do they understand the process, or how experienced are they and ready to sell when they come to speak with you?
Typically, the client has never sold a business before. They really don't know what's involved. They don't understand what buyers are interested in seeing. So a lot of what I do is educating them.
Do these folks think that it's as simple as selling a real estate or a property? Or what are these myths or misconceptions that people hold? That's kind of the motivation for this series is
Right.
really shining a light on what is needed to sell a business. What are these people thinking?
Well, they're thinking it's like buying and selling a home, but clearly it's not. There are many more issues in the business. You're talking about clients or customers, vendors, employees. You're talking about so many variables that make it much more different than just buying and selling a home.
Let's talk about that a little bit. What are some more like myths or misconceptions that business owners kind of hold that may sabotage them from being able to sell their
Well,
business?
okay, that's a good question. They think the effort that they've put into the business or the money they've invested in their business is the basis for what they should receive when they sell. They think sales are what sell a business. In reality, it's profits that sell a business. And typically, there's a multiple that's used so that if they have a good business and they're making money, they can sell their business typically for a multiple of 3, which is the equivalent of not working for 3 years. That's the benefit. And they can use that money to invest in other areas.
When is the right time for a business owner considering selling their business? When's the right time to start preparing?
Yeah, that's it. Well,
How
that's
far
a
in advance?
fabulous question. The right time to sell your business is when you're making more money than you've ever made, and you really don't want to sell. But see, your books and records, tax returns will justify a higher asking price. So that is the ideal time to sell. And in terms of how much lead time, my preference is 2 years minimum, because typically they're taking so much money out of the business, they're reducing taxes, and that's not the way to sell a business. You want to show as much profit as possible, forget about the tax issue, and that's the way to really go about it.
Statistics show that over 80% of businesses that go on the market end up not selling. What causes that? What are the breakdowns that make a business not sell?
Yeah. Well, you hit the nail on the head. Typically, 1 out of 5 businesses sell, and you said the 80% don't. Unrealistic expectations of the owner, thinking that blood, sweat, and tears is what really makes the value in the company. But in reality, the buyer doesn't care how many years you put into it, how much effort they put into it, how much money you've borrowed, how much money you've loaned. They want to see, are you making money? And if you're making money, then they're interested. So I always say that when you're on this kind of a path, that's the best time to sell. And again, you need lead time to stop the bad habits, stop the skimming that many business owners do.
A lot of folks are wondering that the question that they have on their mind is we're coming out of a pandemic right now,
Mhm.
and there's a lot of activity in this market. Is it really a good time to sell a business today?
It's really a good time to sell a business anytime, regardless of conditions, including COVID. If you've got a business, you've done well, if somebody sees you've done well during COVID, then perhaps they think you're going to do even better afterwards. But typically, any time of year is fine. It's just a matter of who's out there looking for something that you have to offer.
Loren, what inspired you to become a broker and an intermediary? Got you started in this business?
Well, again, an interesting question. I started out as a business consultant right out of college, part time initially, then full time. And one of my consulting clients changed careers. Believe it or not, he started selling those water systems, where you can get hot, cold from the tank of water. And as he was making those sales, he entered into conversations with the owners. He found many owners who were tired, burnt out, wish they could sell. So he gave me those three leads. I sold them within 11 months. And I said to myself, this is something good that I should do. And I can use my business consulting to enhance the services that I provide.
Fantastic. Loren, before I ask you my last question, is there anything that I didn't think to ask you that you feel is important to share with a business owner considering selling in today's economy?
Yeah, and this is kind of a negative, but it's reality. There are some companies out there that will say what the owner wants to hear instead of what they need to hear. And they typically will charge a very large fee up front to do a valuation, when in reality, it's to appease the owner, not to let the owner know what their company is really worth. So, what I did, I developed a procedure recently where if someone's been burned, they've had a bad experience, if they list with me and I sell their business, I'll actually give them back the money that they lost, which is a very novel concept.
That's a terrific appeal, absolutely. Loren, for folks listening now considering selling their business, they know they need to get stuff in order and they'd like to speak with you. How can they find you, connect with you, and learn more?
Okay, my website is botline.com. That's BOTLINE.com. My phone number is 470-990-0160. I'm very accessible. I return emails, calls, texts very promptly. So I think they'll find my service is very appealing.
Loren, this has been terrific. I appreciate your insights and I really appreciate you taking the time to share with my audience today. I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Well, thank you. And again, the invitation is very appreciated.
Loren Schmerler, he's the founder and president of Bottom Line Management Incorporated, and this segment's been brought to you by booksgrowbusiness.com. It's the place where busy professionals get their books done to educate consumers, grow their businesses, and to leave a legacy. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.